Elderly folks, watch out for 5 popular supplements that might be harming your heart. Do you believe that what you're taking every single day is actually protecting your health? What if I told you that, in reality, some of the most common supplements might be speeding up the aging of your heart? Throughout this talk, you're going to uncover surprising revelations, hear warnings from an international expert, and realize that not everything that looks healthy actually is. There are silent choices that strengthen you, and others that destroy you. The line between these two realities is way thinner than you think. Want to understand what's happening inside your body, invisibly, every single day? The answer might change the way you take care of your health from now on. So welcome to another episode of Heal Essence, where you're going to find out about 5 popular supplements that are destroying your heart. And more than that, you'll be the first to get crucial answers about maintaining your health, straight from one of the most respected doctors out there. Dr. Tanaka, when we talk about aging, most people think about wrinkles, gray hair, or losing strength. But very few remember that the heart also ages. To kick things off, I'd like you to explain, what happens to the heart once we hit 60?
That's an excellent question. The heart, just like any other organ, goes through a natural aging process. After the age of 60, the arteries lose elasticity, circulation slows down, and the heart muscle itself loses some of its efficiency. It's like a car engine that's been running for decades. It still works, but it's more fragile.
That engine image is really interesting, Doctor. And does that loss of efficiency explain why so many older people complain about fatigue, palpitations, or shortness of breath, even during simple activities?
Exactly. The body starts demanding more effort for tasks that used to be easy. On top of that, the chances of arrhythmias go up, because the electrical systems that control heartbeat also age. That makes an elderly person's heart more vulnerable to dangerous irregularities.
So it's not just a weaker heart, but a heart more exposed to serious problems. And I imagine that, faced with this, a lot of older folks start looking for alternatives to strengthen the body, including supplements.
No doubt. That's exactly when the search for supplements grows. The reasoning is simple. If the body's getting weaker, maybe a capsule can give back energy or protection. But what we need to understand is that an older person's metabolism is totally different from a younger one's, and often those capsules can actually bring the opposite effect.
And that's exactly the point that grabs my attention. People buy supplements believing they're allies, but forget that a body over 60 reacts in a whole different way. And when we're talking about the heart, there's no room for mistakes, right?
Absolutely right. I always tell my patients, what can be medicine in one dose can turn into poison in another. And for the aging heart, that phrase has never been more true. What happens is, some substances, when taken in excess, can worsen artery stiffness, increase clot risk, or even promote inflammation.
That completely changes the way we look at this. So, before talking about specific supplements, we need to get this clear. The aging heart is not the same as it used to be. It's more sensitive, which means the care has to be more strategic.
Exactly. And that's the perspective we're going to use for this conversation. First, understanding that natural vulnerability, and then breaking the myth that supplements always equal health. In reality, many of them are silently destroying the heart.
Dr. Tanaka, we live in a time when there's a pill for everything. If someone wants more energy, they buy a pill. If they want to sleep better, another pill. And especially among older people, there's this belief that just taking a supplement will bring health back. What's your take on that?
That's really a global phenomenon. Marketing sells the idea that supplements are shortcuts to vitality, almost like a fountain of youth in a bottle. But reality is very different. The human body, especially after 60, doesn't respond so predictably. Many times these supplements don't bring the expected benefit, and in some cases, they can even cause harm.
So when it comes to seniors, we need to break that idea that a capsule equals instant health. Seems like there's a real danger in believing in solutions that are too quick, right?
Exactly. I always say there's no magic capsule for aging well. What there is a set of lifestyle choices: proper diet, restorative sleep, moderate physical activity, and regular medical checkups. Supplements can sometimes be needed in specific cases, but they should never replace the foundation of a healthy lifestyle.
And the problem is that the market often plays on people's fears. Older folks worried about memory loss, fragile bones, or weaker hearts end up bombarded with ads promising instant protection. And it all sounds very convincing, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's where the danger lies. Not all popular supplements are safe for the heart. Many were created with good intentions, but in excess or in poor formulations, they can do the exact opposite of what they promise. And since the elderly already have a more sensitive body, the negative impact can be much bigger.
That makes me think of something. Maybe the biggest trap isn't just the supplement itself, but the false sense of security it gives. The person believes they're protected and ends up neglecting what truly matters, like their diet or medical routine.
You've hit a key point. Many times, the elderly think, "I'm taking my protection pill so I can relax." But the body doesn't work that way. A supplement doesn't make up for a bad diet, doesn't replace exercise, and doesn't protect against harmful habits. On the contrary, it can overload a body that's already running at a slower pace.
So to make it clear, the problem isn't supplements existing, it's the way they're consumed, without guidance, without individual evaluation.
Exactly. When used responsibly and with medical supervision, some supplements can be useful. But believing they're miraculous is a serious mistake. And that's why, starting in the next chapter, we'll talk about which popular supplements are silently harming elderly hearts.
Dr. Tanaka, one of the most consumed supplements among older folks is calcium. We always hear it's essential for strong bones, preventing fractures, and even keeping mobility. But you've brought an important warning. Too much calcium can harm the heart. Can you explain that?
Yes, this is a crucial point. Calcium really is vital for bone health, but when taken in high doses, especially in capsules, it can leave the bones and build up in the arteries. This process is called arterial calcification, and it turns flexible blood vessels into stiff pipes.
So, in trying to strengthen bones, the elderly might actually be weakening their cardiovascular system. And that hardening of the arteries increases the risk of heart attack and stroke, right?
Correct. And what's most worrying is that it happens silently. The patient often believes they're taking care of themselves, but in reality, they're speeding up a process that could result in fatal cardiovascular events. That's why we need to distinguish calcium obtained naturally from food and the calcium that comes in high-dose capsules.
So, we can say there's a big difference between calcium found in foods like green veggies, dairy, or seeds and the kind you get from pills?
Exactly. Calcium from food is absorbed in a more balanced way, and the body regulates how it's used. But supplements, when taken in excess, can flood the body all at once, overloading the kidneys and promoting deposits in the arteries. The body wasn't made to deal with artificial megadoses.
That breaks a very common idea. A lot of people believe if it's good, then more is better. But from what you're saying, with calcium, it's actually the opposite.
Exactly right. With calcium, more doesn't mean better. It means more dangerous. I've treated patients with advanced arterial calcification precisely because they were taking supplements without supervision. The cardiovascular risk in those cases shoots up dramatically.
So the safest route would be to prioritize food sources of calcium and only consider supplements when there's a real diagnosed deficiency under medical supervision.
That's the key point. I'm not saying nobody should ever use calcium, but indiscriminate use can cost you your heart. The ideal thing is to check blood levels, look at the patient's diet, and only then prescribe controlled doses. The heart needs flexibility, and too much calcium takes exactly that away.
So it's clear that something sold as bone protection can actually turn into a silent enemy of the heart. A valuable warning for everyone who trusts only the pill. Dr. Tanaka, another very popular supplement is vitamin E. It's sold as a powerful antioxidant, almost like a shield against aging. But from what you've said, there's a worrying detail. In high doses and in its synthetic form, vitamin E can harm the heart.
Exactly. Vitamin E, in small amounts from food, is beneficial. It protects cells from oxidative stress. The problem shows up when someone decides to take synthetic vitamin E capsules in high doses. Studies have shown this can increase the risk of heart failure in older adults.
That's surprising. You mean, instead of protecting the heart, synthetic vitamin E can actually weaken it?
Yes. The aging heart is sensitive to any kind of excess. Synthetic vitamin E, when consumed in large amounts, messes with the body's natural mechanisms and throws off the balance between oxidation and antioxidant defense. What protects in small amounts can destroy in excess.
And the curious thing is, many elderly folks think they're doing the exact opposite, taking care of their heart. They think, if vitamin E fights free radicals, then the more I take, the more protected I'll be.
That's the dangerous reasoning. The human body doesn't work like a simple math equation. More antioxidant doesn't mean more protection. On the contrary, it can cause something called reductive stress, which also damages cells, including heart muscle cells.
That makes me think maybe the big mistake is trying to isolate one nutrient and take it in concentrated doses, ignoring that in food, nutrients exist in balance with other compounds.
You're absolutely right. When we get vitamin E from natural sources, like seeds, nuts, vegetable oils, or leafy greens, it comes with other phytonutrients that help the body use it properly. But isolated synthetic vitamin E breaks that balance and can be toxic in high doses.
So if I got this right, the secret is moderation, and most importantly, the source of the vitamin E. In synthetic capsules, there's risk. In natural foods, there's protection.
Exactly. Natural vitamin E from diet is hardly ever a problem. But synthetic capsules in megadoses are a risky bet, especially for seniors with a history of heart problems. The message is clear. The solution isn't in a bottle, but in a balanced diet.
A warning that's definitely going to surprise a lot of people. After all, something sold as protective can, in practice, turn into an enemy of the heart. Dr. Tanaka, we've reached a supplement that, at first glance, seems indispensable for seniors: iron. After all, anemia is quite common at this stage of life. However, you bring a strong warning. Too much iron can be devastating for the heart.
Exactly. Iron is vital for producing hemoglobin and transporting oxygen. But when it's consumed beyond what's needed, it builds up in the body and triggers a process called oxidative stress. In other words, excess iron oxidizes the blood, fueling inflammation and damaging heart cells.
So we could say that iron, which is supposed to nourish, can actually end up rusting the body from the inside?
That's the perfect metaphor. I usually tell my patients, too much iron rusts you on the inside, and the heart is one of the first to suffer, because it's in direct contact with the blood. That excess can stiffen the myocardium, cause arrhythmias, and even lead to heart failure in the long run.
That's concerning because many seniors, when they feel tired or weak, run out to buy iron supplements on their own, without even checking if they're actually deficient.
That's the big risk. Not all fatigue is linked to lack of iron. Many times, it's the result of other conditions, like sleep problems, hormonal changes, or even heart disease. Taking iron without needing it is like pouring gas into a tank that's already full. It just overflows and makes a mess.
And when iron builds up, it's not just the heart that suffers, right? I imagine other organs also get hit.
Correct. Excess iron can overload the liver, kidneys, and even the pancreas, raising the risk of diabetes. But specifically in the heart, the impact is even more dangerous because it fuels chronic inflammation in the blood vessels and speeds up cardiovascular aging.
So if I got this right, using iron supplements should be extremely cautious, based on lab tests, and never on just a simple impression of weakness or fatigue.
Exactly. Iron should only be prescribed when there's clinical proof of deficiency. And even then, the dosage has to be controlled very carefully. Ideally, whenever possible, we should prioritize iron-rich foods combined with vitamin C, which helps absorption, rather than automatically reaching for capsules.
An essential warning. What seemed like a natural ally against anemia can, in practice, turn into a silent enemy of the heart. Dr. Tanaka, when we talk about fatty acids, most people only remember omega-3, which became famous worldwide as heart protection. But there's also omega-6, which shows up in lots of capsules sold as supplements. And you pointed out that, when consumed on its own, omega-6 can be harmful. Can you explain why?
Of course. Omega-6 is an essential fatty acid, meaning our body needs it to function. The problem is imbalance. The ideal is to keep a proper ratio between omega-3 and omega-6. When someone takes only omega-6 capsules, without balancing it with omega-3, the body tends to trigger chronic inflammatory processes that harm blood vessels.
So instead of protecting, the supplement could be setting the stage for inflammation?
Exactly. And chronic inflammation is one of the heart's main enemies. It contributes to plaque buildup in the arteries, raises the risk of thrombosis, and consequently, heart attack or stroke. Isolating omega-6 in capsules is like tipping the body's natural balance.
And the funny thing is, many seniors take this kind of supplement believing they're strengthening their cardiovascular system. The ads usually highlight circulation benefits, but they don't mention this hidden side effect.
That's the critical point. Marketing tends to be selective. They talk about what sells and leave out what scares. What very few people realize is that modern diets are already packed with omega-6, since it's in refined vegetable oils, margarines, and processed foods. In other words, most people are already getting more than enough.
Which means that by adding omega-6 capsules, seniors are basically piling on top of an excess that was already there.
Exactly. It's like throwing too much wood on a fire that's already burning. The body needs balance, not extremes. Omega-3, found in cold water fish, chia, and flaxseed, is what helps counterbalance omega-6. When there's no balance, the heart pays the price.
So if the goal is to protect the heart, it makes more sense to aim for dietary balance rather than investing in isolated omega-6 capsules.
Exactly. We don't need to demonize omega-6, but we do need to understand that it has to be in harmony with omega-3. Supplementing one and ignoring the other is opening the door to chronic inflammation. The best strategy is to adjust the diet and, if needed, focus on omega-3, which truly has solid evidence for heart protection.
A powerful warning. It's clear that capsules don't always bring balance. Many times, they do the exact opposite. Dr. Tanaka, we've reached the last supplement on our list, and maybe the most popular of all, multivitamins. They're in pharmacies, supermarkets, online stores, pretty much everywhere. And lots of people take them daily, believing one pill solves all nutritional gaps. Is that actually true?
Unfortunately, no. The concept of generic multivitamins is seductive, but dangerous. They pack a mix of vitamins and minerals in fixed doses, without considering the individual needs of each person. The result is that many seniors end up taking nutrients they don't need, and in amounts that can overload the liver, kidneys, and, indirectly, the heart.
So what's sold as a health cocktail might actually be flooding the body with excess substances. And that excess ends up demanding a lot more from vital organs, right?
Exactly. Think about an elderly person's heart. It already works harder to keep circulation going. Now imagine that body getting daily high doses of vitamins it doesn't need. What should have been support becomes a burden. This raises the risk of inflammation, metabolic imbalances, and, in the long run, even cardiovascular complications.
And the craziest thing is that multivitamins have become almost like a morning ritual for many people, as if they were as essential as brushing their teeth. Very few stop to think if they actually need them.
That's the big issue. Standardization. Every body is unique. Every person ages differently. What might be necessary for one senior could be harmful for another. That's why I always say, nutrition can't be bought in a generic formula. It requires individualized evaluation, lab tests, and medical guidance.
So the message is clear. Generic multivitamins aren't magic solutions. They might even give a false sense of care, but deep down, they don't replace proper nutrition.
Exactly. Real nutrition comes from food. Supplements should only come into play when there's a proven deficiency and under medical supervision. Otherwise, they're just colorful pills that could cost your heart's health.
Dr. Tanaka, thank you so much for your clarity and the warnings you shared. This was an extremely valuable conversation, and I'm sure it opened a lot of people's eyes to the hidden risks of supplements.
Thank you. I hope this talk helps people reflect on their choices and always seek guidance before starting any supplementation. The heart deserves real care, not illusions in capsules.
And for you who stayed with us until now, keep watching, because now that our conversation with Dr. Haruki Tanaka has wrapped up, I'm going to start talking about some food options that are truly good for the heart. Stay with me, because this part is just as important as what we've seen so far. Number 10, avocado. The talk with Dr. Tanaka was very enlightening, and he always stresses how small adjustments in diet can transform heart health. Among the most mentioned fruits, avocado always stands out. Rich in monounsaturated fats, this food helps reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, while at the same time increasing good cholesterol, HDL. This balance is key to keeping arteries clean and preventing dangerous plaque buildup. An interesting point Dr. Tanaka mentioned is that avocado shouldn't be seen only as a high-calorie fruit, but as a smart energy source. Its healthy fats nourish the body slowly and steadily, avoiding blood sugar spikes. This effect directly reduces the risk of silent inflammations that, over time, weaken the heart. A simple food, but with a huge impact. Another aspect worth highlighting is the potassium content in avocado. This mineral plays a vital role in regulating blood pressure, helping counter the effects of sodium in the body. Controlled blood pressure means less strain on the heart and lower risk of cardiovascular complications. In other words, eating avocado can be compared to giving real relief to the circulatory system. On top of that, avocado contains fiber that helps with digestion and cholesterol control. These fibers work like a sponge, helping flush out excess fat before it gets absorbed by the body. Dr. Tanaka explained that this detail is often overlooked, but it's one of the reasons why regular consumption of the fruit brings such visible results. The heart is grateful when digestion works well. Another point he raised was the antioxidant effect of avocado. The antioxidants fight free radicals, molecules that speed up cell aging and damage blood vessels. This protection is essential to maintain artery elasticity and prevent them from stiffening over the years. Small, frequent portions can slow down serious problems like atherosclerosis. A lot of people think avocado only goes well in sweet dishes like desserts, but that's a limited view. Dr. Tanaka suggested using it in salads, on toast, or even as a replacement for margarine, making it a healthy and beneficial substitute. That versatility is one of the reasons the fruit deserves a spot in daily eating habits. Eating in practical and tasty ways makes all the difference. Moderate consumption is another key point. Even though it's healthy, avocado is calorie-dense, and overdoing it can lead to weight gain, which doesn't help the heart. Dr. Tanaka's recommendation was clear. Half of a small avocado per day is enough to get the benefits without overloading the diet. It's a simple but essential balance. In short, including avocado in the diet means giving the heart an extra layer of protection against high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and inflammation. It's a tasty, affordable fruit that can be adapted to many meals. As Dr. Tanaka pointed out, prevention starts with simple daily choices, and avocado is one of the most powerful of them. Number 9, fatty fish. Dr. Tanaka always surprises me with the best tips, and this time he highlighted a group of foods that may seem simple but offer extraordinary heart protection. Fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, and mackerel are powerful examples because they're loaded with omega-3s. This essential fatty acid acts like a natural shield against inflammation, one of the heart's biggest enemies. He explained that silent inflammation inside blood vessels is one of the main triggers for heart disease. The omega-3 found in fatty fish works precisely to reduce this inflammatory process. With less inflammation, arteries stay flexible and less likely to build up plaque. That's meaningful protection against heart attacks and strokes. Another point Dr. Tanaka highlighted was omega-3's protective effect against cardiac arrhythmias. These irregular heartbeats can be fatal, but regular intake of omega-3 helps stabilize the heart's electrical activity. It's like giving the heart an extra layer of safety with every beat. On top of that, eating fatty fish helps reduce triglycerides, another major risk factor for heart disease. High triglycerides are linked to insulin resistance and fat buildup in the liver, conditions that raise the risk of cardiovascular problems. Omega-3 directly helps keep those levels under control. Dr. Tanaka also pointed out that these fish are rich in vitamin D and high-quality protein. Vitamin D is crucial for vascular health because it helps maintain blood vessel tone, while protein strengthens muscle structure, including the heart itself. This nutrient package makes fatty fish complete, essential foods. Another important benefit is the positive impact on cholesterol. While helping lower bad cholesterol, LDL, fatty fish also raise good cholesterol, HDL, improving lipid balance. That balance is crucial for blood to flow freely through arteries without blockage risk. Once again, simple choices bring big heart health gains. In practice, Dr. Tanaka recommended eating at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week. Grilled, baked, or even in simple preparations like oven-roasted sardines, there are plenty of accessible ways to include them. Avoiding fried fish is essential, since too much oil cancels out omega-3's benefits. Finally, he noted that for those who don't have regular access to these fish, an alternative is fish oil supplements. But always under medical guidance, because the priority should be natural food sources. What matters is making sure the heart gets this unique protection that only fatty fish can provide. Number 8. Walnuts and almonds. During our conversation, Dr. Tanaka pointed out something many people forget. You don't always need big changes to protect the heart. Sometimes small daily choices already make a huge difference. That's the case with walnuts and almonds, which he considers true natural remedies in food form. These nuts are packed with antioxidants and healthy fatty acids that directly boost cardiovascular health. He explained that the antioxidants in walnuts and almonds fight free radicals, which age cells and damage blood vessels. That protective effect is crucial, since healthier vessels mean less risk of blockages and, as a result, fewer chances of serious events like heart attacks or strokes. Small foods, but with powerful impact. Another relevant point is their unsaturated fatty acids. Unlike bad fats, these help lower LDL cholesterol and raise HDL, balancing the body's lipid levels. Dr. Tanaka made sure to stress that this balance is one of the cornerstones of heart health. A handful of walnuts or almonds a day can have an effect similar to some medications prescribed to control cholesterol. On top of that, these nuts are rich in magnesium. This mineral plays a crucial role in regulating blood pressure by relaxing blood vessels and making circulation easier. With adequate magnesium levels, the heart works with less effort, lowering hypertension risk, one of the biggest concerns in older age. Fiber is also a highlight when it comes to walnuts and almonds. Fiber helps improve digestion and regulate fat absorption, reducing the impact of heavier meals. This simple process helps keep cholesterol in check and eases the strain on the cardiovascular system. Yet another reason to include these foods in daily life. Another interesting aspect Dr. Tanaka mentioned is the satiety effect of walnuts and almonds. Since they're nutrient-dense, they help prevent people from reaching for unhealthy snacks between meals. That feeling of fullness indirectly protects the heart by lowering empty calorie intake and cutting back on harmful foods. Still, he made a warning. Since they're calorie-dense, walnuts and almonds should be eaten in moderation. The recommendation is around 30 grams per day, basically 1 handful. That's the sweet spot to enjoy benefits without risking excessive weight gain, which also harms heart health. Finally, Dr. Tanaka emphasized how practical these foods are. You can eat them plain, add them to salads, yogurt, or even use them in more elaborate recipes. Their versatility makes it easy to fit them into the diet, letting each person adapt to their taste. Eating a handful of walnuts or almonds a day gives the heart a daily dose of natural protection. Number 7. Extra virgin olive oil. Dr. Tanaka always stresses that not all fats should be seen as enemies of the heart. On the contrary, some can be powerful allies, and extra virgin olive oil is a classic example. He explained that this oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants that work directly to protect the arteries. It's one of the cornerstones of the famous Mediterranean diet, linked to longevity and cardiovascular health. One of olive oil's biggest benefits is its ability to reduce silent inflammation in the body. These inflammations are like little sparks that, if left unchecked, can lead to plaque buildup in arteries. By consuming olive oil regularly, that inflammatory process is reduced, giving more safety to the circulatory system and lowering blockage risks. Dr. Tanaka also highlighted olive oil's impact on cholesterol. It helps lower bad cholesterol, LDL, while boosting good cholesterol, HDL. That balance is crucial to keep arteries clear and ensure blood flows freely without straining the heart. A simple effect, but with huge value. Another important point is that olive oil improves blood vessel elasticity. With more flexible arteries, circulation becomes more efficient and blood pressure tends to stay under control. That means less strain on the heart and lower hypertension risk. Dr. Tanaka compared this effect to a natural lubricant for the cardiovascular system. Olive oil is also packed with powerful antioxidants like polyphenol, which fight free radicals and protect cells from premature aging. This antioxidant action helps preserve blood vessel integrity and prevents them from hardening with age. It's like every spoonful of olive oil brings a small dose of youth to the heart. Regular olive oil consumption has also been linked to fewer heart attacks and strokes in long-term studies. Dr. Tanaka stressed that this is no coincidence, but the direct result of its nutrients and anti-inflammatory action. That's why he considers extra virgin olive oil an indispensable food for anyone who wants to protect their heart. In practice, he recommended replacing refined oils or butter with olive oil. Using it on salads, grilled veggies, or even in hot dishes is a simple way to make the diet healthier. The key is making sure it's extra virgin, since that version keeps the highest concentration of beneficial compounds. Finally, Dr. Tanaka warned that, despite being healthy, olive oil is also calorie-dense. The ideal amount is 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, enough to reap the benefits without overdoing it. Used in balance, extra virgin olive oil is a true natural protector of the heart, easy to include in the routine, and full of positive results. Number 6. Oats. Dr. Tanaka pointed out that many times the solution to protect the heart lies in simple foods that can easily be part of breakfast. Oats are one of those classic examples. Rich in soluble fibers, especially beta-glucan, they have a direct effect in lowering bad cholesterol, LDL. It's like every spoonful of oats slowly helps clean the arteries, reducing blockage risks. He explained that beta-glucan works like a sponge in the body. When it dissolves in the digestive tract, it forms a kind of gel that traps fat and cholesterol molecules, preventing them from being absorbed. That makes oats a powerful weapon to keep cholesterol levels balanced and protect the cardiovascular system from serious complications. Besides lowering cholesterol, oats also help stabilize blood sugar. Their soluble fibers slow down sugar absorption, avoiding spikes that, over time, damage blood vessels. Dr. Tanaka explained that this control is vital, since diabetes is one of the biggest factors tied to heart problems. Another point he emphasized was oats' impact on satiety. By slowing digestion, they keep the body fueled longer, preventing overeating throughout the day. That effect helps with weight control, one of the main risk factors for heart health. Once again, a small dietary detail that brings big results. Dr. Tanaka also reminded that oats contain antioxidants called avenanthramides. These compounds help relax blood vessels, improving circulation and lowering blood pressure. It's a benefit many don't know about, but it puts oats in the spotlight as a complete cardiovascular food. Another interesting factor is practicality. Oats can be added to yogurt, blended into smoothies, used in porridge, or even baked into breads and cakes. That versatility lets everyone find an enjoyable way to eat them daily without hassle. Dr. Tanaka stressed that consistency is the key to long-term benefits. He also made sure to point out that large amounts aren't necessary. A serving of 30 to 40 grams per day is enough to get protective effects for the heart. The important thing is to make it a consistent habit, turning oats into part of the routine, especially at breakfast, when they provide steady energy for the whole day. Finally, Dr. Tanaka concluded that oats are one of the clearest examples of how nutrition can truly be medicine. A cheap, accessible, and highly nutritious food that protects arteries, controls cholesterol, and supports overall well-being. Proof that heart health can start right at the first meal of the day. Number 5. Berries. Dr. Tanaka always says that the colors of food are not there by accident. They show the presence of special compounds that protect the body, and in the case of berries, that translates into powerful antioxidants. Strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries are true jewels of nature when it comes to heart health. Their pigments, called anthocyanins, help protect blood vessels and reduce inflammation. These anthocyanins have a unique effect. They strengthen blood vessel walls and prevent them from becoming stiff over time. That means better circulation and lower risk of high blood pressure. Dr. Tanaka highlighted that this is one of the biggest differences between berries and other common fruits, making them true natural protectors of the cardiovascular system. On top of that, these fruits help reduce oxidative stress, one of the main causes of premature aging and heart disease. Oxidative stress happens when there's an excess of free radicals circulating in the body, and the antioxidants in berries neutralize this process. With that, the heart and arteries stay healthier for longer. Another important point is the impact of berries on insulin sensitivity. They help the body process glucose better, avoiding blood sugar spikes. As Dr. Tanaka explained, this effect is crucial because diabetes and blood sugar problems are directly linked to higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Eating berries, therefore, is a way to prevent complications in two systems at once. Regular consumption of these fruits also helps control cholesterol. Studies show that anthocyanins in blueberries and strawberries reduce oxidized LDL, which is the most dangerous form of bad cholesterol, the one that sparks plaque buildup in arteries. That means less risk of blockages and stronger protection against heart attacks and strokes. Dr. Tanaka also stressed that these fruits are low in calories and rich in fiber. That combo makes them great allies for keeping weight balanced and improving digestion. Weight control, in turn, is one of the key factors to reduce strain on the heart. In other words, they're tasty, nutritious, and light all at once. Another notable benefit is that berries help reduce blood pressure. Their bioactive compounds relax blood vessels, promoting more efficient circulation. Combined with cholesterol and blood sugar control, this forms a true tripod of protection for heart health. Finally, Dr. Tanaka highlighted how practical they are to eat. Berries can be eaten plain, in juices, smoothies, salads, or even in healthy desserts. Even small daily portions already bring significant benefits. He reinforced that if there's one group of fruits that can act like a natural shield for the heart, that group is definitely berries. Number 4, tomatoes. Dr. Tanaka always reminds us that some simple foods, found daily on our tables, hide valuable secrets for heart health. A perfect example is the tomato. It's a rich source of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that works directly to protect blood vessels. This compound helps prevent artery hardening, lowering the risk of atherosclerosis, one of the greatest threats to the cardiovascular system. The lycopene in tomatoes acts like a bodyguard for cells, preventing free radicals from causing oxidative damage. This process is essential because it stops LDL cholesterol from oxidizing, which is the first step toward plaque buildup in the arteries. Dr. Tanaka explained that by keeping cholesterol in its less harmful form, lycopene gives the heart better protection. Another key point is the tomato's effect on blood pressure. It contains potassium, a mineral essential to balancing sodium levels in the body. This balance helps control blood pressure and reduces strain on the heart. Dr. Tanaka highlighted that a potassium-rich diet is one of the foundations for preventing hypertension, and tomatoes fit perfectly into that strategy. On top of that, eating tomatoes is linked to more efficient circulation. The antioxidants and nutrients in them boost artery elasticity, ensuring blood flows more easily. That effect is like a daily gift for the heart, letting it work with less effort. In the long run, that means less wear and more vitality. Dr. Tanaka also pointed out that tomatoes are low in calories, making them an excellent choice for those looking to manage weight. Keeping body weight within healthy limits is one of the most important ways to protect the heart against chronic disease. So including tomatoes in the diet benefits both cardiovascular health and overall balance. Another interesting detail is that lycopene becomes even more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked. Homemade sauces, soups, and hot tomato-based dishes boost the body's absorption of this antioxidant. Dr. Tanaka suggested that besides eating them raw in salads, it's also important to include them in cooked dishes to maximize their benefits. Tomato fiber also plays an important role. It helps regulate digestion, reduces fat absorption, and helps keep cholesterol at healthy levels. This indirect effect adds to lycopene's power, creating a double barrier against heart risks. Once again, the simplicity of this food proves to be extremely powerful. Finally, Dr. Tanaka concluded that tomatoes are an indispensable choice for anyone who wants to strengthen their heart health. Easy to find, versatile, and tasty, they can be included in different meals throughout the day. Whether raw, cooked, or as sauce, what matters is keeping them on the table. An affordable, essential ally to keep arteries clear and the heart protected. Number 3. Beans and lentils. Dr. Tanaka always points out that heart health doesn't depend only on sophisticated or expensive foods, but also on simple, accessible, traditional ones. Beans and lentils are clear examples. These grains, eaten for centuries in many cultures, are true allies of cardiovascular health thanks to their mix of fiber, plant protein, and essential minerals. He explained that the fiber in beans and lentils helps control cholesterol, especially lowering LDL, the bad cholesterol. This happens because soluble fiber acts like a barrier, reducing fat absorption in the intestine. That way, every dish with beans or lentils becomes a chance to protect arteries from plaque buildup. Another important point is their role in reducing blood pressure. They are rich in potassium and magnesium, minerals that help dilate blood vessels and regulate blood flow. Dr. Tanaka stressed that keeping blood pressure balanced is one of the most effective ways to prevent heart attacks and strokes, and these foods play a key role in that process. Besides fiber and minerals, beans and lentils provide high-quality plant protein. That's especially important as a substitute for part of red meat consumption, which in excess can overload the heart. Plant proteins are lighter, nutritious, and help maintain muscle mass without the risks tied to saturated fat. Dr. Tanaka also highlighted their regulating effect on blood sugar. The slow digestion provided by fiber avoids glucose spikes, which are harmful both for those with diabetes and for those looking to prevent metabolic problems. This link between beans, lentils, and heart health is crucial, since excess glucose damages blood vessels. Another lesser-known benefit is the satiety that beans and lentils provide. Because they're high in both fiber and protein, they help keep hunger under control for longer. That prevents overeating and helps manage weight, an essential factor to reduce heart strain. Small details that make a big difference. He also noted how versatile these foods are. They can be eaten in salads, soups, stews, or in traditional daily dishes. This practicality makes it easy to include beans and lentils in the routine, turning them into constant allies of the heart without complicating the diet. Simplicity is one of their greatest strengths. Finally, Dr. Tanaka concluded that beans and lentils represent the perfect balance between nutrition, practicality, and health. They're affordable, easy to prepare, and able to deliver multiple benefits to the cardiovascular system. Including them regularly in meals is a smart decision that strengthens the heart and supports a longer, healthier life. Number 2, spinach and kale. Dr. Tanaka always makes sure to emphasize the power of dark leafy greens for heart health. Among them, spinach and kale stand out. These foods are rich in natural nitrates, compounds that help dilate blood vessels and improve oxygenation in the body. That means blood circulates more efficiently, reducing strain on the heart and boosting vitality. He explained that the nitrates in these greens turn into nitric oxide inside the body, a substance that relaxes vessel walls. This effect promotes smoother circulation and lowers blood pressure. Dr. Tanaka stressed that this action is comparable to certain hypertension drugs, but with the advantage of being fully natural and free of side effects. Besides nitrates, spinach and kale are loaded with antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds help fight oxidative stress, protecting not just the heart, but also the eyes and other body parts. Dr. Tanaka reminded us that reducing oxidative damage is one of the pillars of long-term cardiovascular protection. These greens are also rich in fiber, which plays a crucial role in lowering bad cholesterol, LDL. By reducing fat absorption and improving digestion, fiber supports the body's natural cleansing process. Once again, the simplicity of these foods translates into deep heart benefits. Another point Dr. Tanaka emphasized was their abundance of magnesium and potassium. These minerals help regulate blood pressure and strengthen the muscular system, including the heart muscle. That means more endurance and lower risk of complications like arrhythmias, a true natural fortification for the heart. Regular spinach and kale consumption is also linked to weight control. Since they're very low in calories but rich in nutrients, they provide satiety without overloading the diet. This balance is essential for protecting the heart while keeping energy and vitality throughout the day. Dr. Tanaka also suggested different ways to include these greens in daily life, in salads, green juices, stir-fries, or even soups. Their versatility lets everyone find the most enjoyable way to eat spinach and kale. Consistency, he said, is the real secret to long-lasting benefits. Finally, he concluded that spinach and kale are not just side dishes, but key players in cardiovascular protection. Simple, affordable, and full of nutrients, these vegetables give the heart an extra layer of defense against high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and inflammation. A natural reinforcement that should always have a spot on the table of anyone who wants to live longer and better. Number 1, dark chocolate. Dr. Tanaka always reinforces that taking care of the heart doesn't mean giving up all food pleasures. On the contrary, some foods that seem indulgent can become allies when chosen wisely. Dark chocolate, with at least 70% cocoa, is a perfect example. Rich in antioxidants called flavonoids, it helps protect blood vessels and improve circulation. These flavonoids promote artery dilation, making blood flow easier and lowering blood pressure. Dr. Tanaka explained that this effect is like loosening knots in the arteries, letting the heart work with less strain. The result is more efficient circulation and lower risk of heart overload. Another key point was cocoa's antioxidant power. It fights free radicals that damage cells and speed up artery aging. That effect is fundamental for keeping arteries elastic and reducing plaque formation that can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Dark chocolate, when eaten in moderation, works like an invisible protective shield for the heart. On top of that, studies show that moderate dark chocolate consumption is linked to higher good cholesterol, HDL, and lower bad cholesterol, LDL. That lipid balance is essential to keep blood flowing without barriers and reduce artery blockage risk. Once again, a seemingly simple pleasure turns into powerful care. Dr. Tanaka also reminded us that dark chocolate can help the body produce nitric oxide, a substance that relaxes blood vessels. This biochemical effect reinforces its role in lowering blood pressure and improving endothelial function, which is the artery's inner lining responsible for regulating blood flow. A powerful detail that often goes unnoticed. Another interesting benefit is its positive impact on mood. Moderate cocoa consumption stimulates the release of serotonin and endorphins, substances tied to well-being and stress reduction. Since stress is a significant risk factor for heart disease, this indirect action also helps protect the heart. Eating dark chocolate, then, can be good for both body and mind. Of course, Dr. Tanaka made an important note: not all chocolate offers these benefits. Milk chocolate or heavily processed versions usually contain lots of sugar and bad fats, canceling out cocoa's positive effects. That's why the recommendation is clear: choose only chocolate with at least 70% cocoa and eat it in small amounts. Finally, he concluded that dark chocolate can be seen as functional pleasure. Instead of being an enemy of health, it becomes an ally when consumed mindfully. 1 or 2 small squares a day are enough to provide its benefits. A simple, enjoyable, and effective way to protect the heart without giving up flavor. And if you want to keep getting the best videos for your health, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because it only exists for one reason: to help you become a healthier person with more quality of life. Helping you is my mission. In the video that's now on your screen, I reveal 5 common foods that are dangerous if reheated. Click on the screen and check it out.